So with JJ Redick all set to become the Los Angeles Lakers' next head coach, his hiring sparked a lot of conversation, especially over social media, at the possible racism that the NBA coaching carousel seems to be having. You know, how come a guy with zero prior NBA head coaching experience seemed to leapfrog over other candidates who have prior NBA head coaching experience, get a job at one of the most prestigious organizations in NBA history? It begs the question. You know, Stephen A. Smith has been the known analyst over at that network who seemed to be known as race baiting. And when he first said that, I was like, oh, here come again Stephen A's talking out his mouth. But then I sat back and said, Stephen A. Smith might actually have a point on this one. And a name that seemed to come up a lot in NBA head coaching conversations was Sam Cassell. Now, Sam Cassell is an assistant coach for the Boston Celtics who just won the NBA championship this year. Sam Cassell is a 15-year assistant. Spent 15 years as an assistant head coach. Has 4 championships on his resume. 3 as a player, 1 as an assistant head coach. He's a former NBA All-Star and a former All-NBA player. Yet JJ Redick, who has no championships on his resume, 0 prior NBA coaching experience, doesn't have an All-Star appearance on his resume, 0 All-NBA appearances on his resume, started a podcast, and all of a sudden is now the next head coach for one of the most prestigious organizations in NBA history. How come that seems to be the case? And a lot of people want to say, is there a racism carousel? Is there a racism issue in terms of the NBA head coaching hierarchy? Obviously, the NBA is 75% black. You cannot say there's racism in that. But it begs to spark the conversations and dive deep into it. How come somebody of that caliber got that job over somebody who's more qualified for that position? Again, I'm not knocking JJ Redick, okay? If anybody, they threw that offer at him, anybody would have taken that offer. But was he the most qualified for that offer? It begs to be the question. Again, JJ Redick is a very, very smart basketball analyst. You heard how he commentates on ESPN with the games, started a podcast with LeBron James, and knows what he's talking about. Nobody on that network can talk X's and O's just like he can. So he knows the game of basketball. Hell, he's a former player. But compared to the experience that you need to be a head coach, he doesn't have none of it. The only head coaching experience JJ Redick has was that he was a volunteer 4th grade basketball's head coach. That's about it. Then all of a sudden leapfrogs to become a Lakers head coach. How is that the case? Usually with the head coaching, you have to pay your dues. You have to spend years as an assistant coach, as a developmental coach. Usually you come from the collegiate level, spending years over there before you even get an opportunity to interview for a head coaching candidacy. Now JJ Redick was given that on a silver platter, all because he started a podcast with the franchise's all-star player. It begs to your question, how come is this the case? How come is that the case? Again, Sam Cassell, 15-year as assistant head coach. He was a great player. 4 championships on his resume. 3 as a player, 1 as a coach. Former NBA All-Star, former All-NBA player. How come that he does not even get an interview for any of the other head coaching candidacies? We didn't see a rumor. We didn't see a report. We didn't see a sniff of other teams saying, hey, we would like to interview Sam Cassell for our head coaching candidacy. He clearly has the experience, the resume, and the knowledge to be any head coach he wants on any given team in the National Basketball Association. How come he wasn't even given a look at to be the next head coach for a franchise? That begs to see the question. But all of a sudden, everybody's going at JJ Redick like he's going to be the next Pat Riley or Phil Jackson. Again, I'm not knocking JJ Redick's basketball knowledge. He knows more basketball in his one pinky than I probably do in my entire brain. But usually when you apply for a job, the first thing they ask is prior work experience. Whether you want to become a teacher, a CDL driver, a mechanic, a technician, whatever the case may be, hell, even working as a cashier, they're going to ask, what is your previous work experience related to this job? And JJ Redick has zero prior NBA head coach experience to be related to this job. I understand he was a player, but being a player compared to being a coach is different. You have to watch film. You have to hold people accountable. You know, you have to game plan, scheme, draw X's and O's, stuff like that. It goes into a lot, into being a coach, into being a head coach. And now there's rumors that that former players right now, like Rondo and stuff like that, are going to be added to JJ Redick's roster of the head coaching assistant coaches. I don't know if that seems to be the case, but again, it begs to your question: how come a guy who was a very good basketball player in college, who was a very good basketball player in the NBA, but has zero prior head coaching experience on the collegiate level, on the high school level, and on the NBA level, get an opportunity like this? Now, granted, I think nobody wanted to be the Lakers' next head coach because that organization is a mess. It's an absolute abomination. The roster overhaul that happens over there, the constant scapegoating. Nobody wanted to be scapegoated and pointing the finger when the Lakers have another failed season, when they miss the playoffs and are in-season tournament team trying to make the playoffs. Nobody wanted to get the finger pointed at them for when the Lakers missed the playoffs, again, having LeBron James and AD at the helm. But again, somebody who has had a good amount of experience would have at least taken that job or got an interview for that job, because again, it is the purple and gold, it is the Lakers. So it begs the question, what do you guys think? Do you think that there's some type of racism going on in the NBA head coaching hierarchy or candidacy? I don't know. Do you agree, disagree with what I got to say? Do you agree, disagree with what Stephen A. Smith has got to say about that? Leave your comments down below. Smash like, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys later. Deuces.